Well, just to keep things moving along, let's get to the next. What was yours again? I think we already touched
Split
on
the bill.
Oh yeah, we touched on that. One last thing on that. Actually, I already said it. Go ahead.
Mine says they're not a
You got to speak into the mic.
Sorry. Mine says they're not a feminist. So
Based.
what's the question is
Based.
what's the question again? Like, is that a deal breaker if they're not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's go around the table on this.
Wait,
Do you identify as a feminist?
No.
No. No.
Based. Hello.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so.
No?
It depends on the definition. I feel like there's a lot of different definitions of feminism out there.
What's your definition?
I guess like gender equality in some way.
Okay, sure.
Um,
J. Lumen super chatted $100.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
This is why I said what I said earlier. Men always fork on the first date. Set the expectation that this is what you want, and why. Physical compatibility is a critical component of a relationship. If she says no, don't waste your money or time on these 304s.
Gross.
That's who? Do you know that guy?
Oh no.
I thought you said that's Aaron.
304, so that's like the area code, right? Is that?
Yeah, it's the area code. 304, definitely.
I was like 304. I was like,
Yeah, definitely area code. Right, Nicolette? Yeah. She's from the 304. Right?
I'm like, what was the question?
Don't worry about it. Okay, so his super chat was, don't wait. I think...
That's stupid. This is the society that men want.
Well, here's the thing.
Instant access to women for $12.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like,
Chicken nuggets.
I think here's where men have an issue. If women let Chad hit it, and then you're gonna make the guy who you maybe want a relationship with, you're gonna make him wait. That's where men have an issue. If your standard throughout your whole life was, I value long-term relationships, I've always waited. But if you've your body count's 20, 30, 40, and then you want to make this next guy wait, who is perhaps the most deserving of a long-term relationship, you're going to make him wait, but that's just ridiculous.
People want different things at different times, so I feel like it's
Sure.
valid.
People
Like,
with,
people have oh, you want to just looking for something casual right now because you went through a breakup, and then later on you can change your mind and you can
Of course.
decide that you want to be committed.
Yeah, I mean, you're free to move however you want.
You
You can.
chicks with 40 plus body count are asking anyone to wait.
No,
That's
Well, not
not really
necessarily, but
bro.
maybe
applicable.
sometimes if they decide they want to change and do that, people change religions all the time too. So I feel like
Almost
you can
always
change who
doesn't
you are.
happen.
You know.
I've had multiple scenarios where I've been I dated a girl, whatever, and she says when I was younger I had a hoe phase. This is my body count. I've had one night stands, etc. And then I come along and they're like, they want to wait 3, 4, 5 dates. When they tell me, bro, I've done this, I've done that, I've had one night stands, and I'm just like, because when if it hasn't been your previous standard in your previous relationships,
People can change their minds.
No, they can, and they're free to. It's not like I'm owed anything. However, I'm also free to feel that or to think that you are playing a game now because it wasn't your standard in the past. So you are now leveraging sex to get commitment from me. Whereas in the past, you didn't do that. So it's like a double standard almost.
Well, you can't really leverage sex when you have a high body count anymore because your value is diminished.
I don't think your self-worth is based on how many people you've slept with.
How many people you sleep with is based on your self-worth, though.
Not really.
I think also that, though, goes in with the experience, because example of people that have, slept with other people, it was super casual. I think the important thing to note, though, is that when a girl does take that, insight into wanting to wait, that's because there's, meaning there. It's intentional on purpose that they actually see something with you, and considering I guess in the past experience they have done that means it obviously didn't work out, you know what I mean? So I think what's important here to take away is that that girl is adding value to you, although the men don't see it that way. From a girl's mindset, in this situation they want to tread carefully rather than having that casual okay, we slept together but they're gone.
You said you're not a feminist, correct?
I have my best friend is a feminist, and I think like being a feminist, like that title is one of my best friends. Like it obviously depends on what your definition.
Well, I don't care about your best friend. I'm just asking you.
Oh, it depends on what your definition of a feminist is, but I think like there's a difference between.
Generally speaking, though, you don't identify as a feminist, correct?
I wouldn't say like strongly like, oh, I'm like a feminist, but of course I, stand for the importance of female rights and equality and everything like that.
Wait,
Okay,
so
but the first question I asked you was, do you identify as a feminist? And you said no, correct?
No, yeah.
Okay, so you're not a feminist.
wait,
I'm
what is
like,
a
but
feminist?
I-
Can we just? What is a feminist to all of us?
A
Yeah,
feminist
what is
is a
your
man-hating.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
A
okay.
leader.
But,
Green hair,
okay,
green
in my
hair, tattoos,
in my
yelling at people,
opinion,
or,
though,
like,
I think
old
there's a difference between being a feminist and being like a man hater and like hating the patriarchy and like putting men down versus uplifting women.
Okay.
There's a big line, and I think a lot of people get that mixed in. Like, to uplift women, they think they continuously have to keep pushing men down, although, like, the patriarchy, yeah, that is a real thing. We live in a
Yeah.
very,
Everyone is thrown around so much.
But I think it's the importance,
What's the
again, of-
patriarchy?
Yeah, what's the patriarchy?
it's like living in a world that is run by men, and a lot of it is, everything is male dominant,
So what is a man?
dominated, and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We don't even want to go there.
Yeah, we
But
won't
when
go.
you say that it's run by men, it's like, hasn't that kind of worked out well for humanity so
yeah.
far?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I disagree that there's a patriarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, even if there is, it's like, is that really like a problem? I don't know.
Can you name a society in which women have built it from the ground up? The skyscrapers, the roads.
So, like,
literally
biologically
everything.
speaking, women tend to be more nurturing and men tend to be more dominant, if that makes sense. So I feel like it works out with the way it is, It's okay that it's mainly male dominated, but I think there is like outliers, of course, but yeah.
So when you think of like modern day feminists, those who call themselves feminists today, like how you gave your definition of feminist, do you think those women prescribe to that, or do they, go around with like hating man, what do you think the majority of women who say that they are feminists today, which definition do you think they go with?
I think there's a lot of hate towards men, especially.
Yeah.
Based Rachel. Yo,
Oh
can
my
we get
God.
some Rachel
I'm
in the
just
chat?
being honest.
Yo, W Rachel in the chat.
Oh my God.
Let's see it. Spam that.
I just
Rachel
think
in the
there's
chat.
a lot of hate surrounding that.
It's true, because even with movies, everyone's like, I want to see more women-dominated movies. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's fine, but a lot of the movies that have come out that are just mainly...
Well, that's not hating on men.
No, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, like, this is like the new wave of feminism, which is like ending up to be toxic.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of like new wave feminists are like trying to kind of like mimic men's behaviors and actions in like a way to like take power back in a way, like, and I don't think that's the answer either. Like, it's kind of not the show itself, but just like the call her daddy like phenomenon, like you feel powerless, and then so I feel like a lot of people are kind of trying to
Wait.
act like a man.
What is the call her daddy phenomenon?
Like it's like
Oh,
you
I
know,
hate
like how
that
men
word.
are like players, like that's like
It's
someone
like you have to act like a player
yeah,
and
like
a
you have to
man
sleep
in order
with as
to
many like men as possible, like play them, like
Yeah.
you have to be the one to like be like
It's like cheat on your boyfriend before he cheats on you.
I
It's
saw
like
a
that.
comment where
Oh,
it
yeah.
said we can uplift women without hating on men, which I think is very true.
Yeah.
Why do women need to be uplifted so bad?
No, I'm just saying
Based.
we can uplift people.
I don't get it. I mean, I think we're like scapegoating this new wave feminism, but I would say all waves of feminism in every era have been toxic.
Yeah.
Look at all those Rachels in the chat. W Rachel. Okay.
Rachel, that's
Wait,
crazy.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of all stemmed from your thing, like, what is feminism? So, I mean, I think you often hear, well, feminism is about gender equality. However, feminism isn't really about gender equality. In its most generous sense, feminism is about, if I can be the most generous, I think feminism is much worse than as I'm about to describe. Feminism is a woman's advocacy movement. There's nothing wrong with women's advocacy. However, to claim it's a gender equality movement is
erroneous. Erroneous.
because feminists don't advocate for men.
That's true. It's like a very man-hating thing.
Well, that's what I'm about to say. So at its best, it's women's advocacy. In actuality, it's a man-hating ideology that spreads misinformation. And I suppose, yes, it does also happen to try to secure rights and privileges for women. But overall, feminism is it's a man-hating ideology. And I can prove that because the core tenet of feminism is the patriarchy theory, which is just that, a theory, and theories can be wrong. So patriarchy theory, excuse me guys,
Just don't go to Portland. It's crazy there. Don't go to Portland.
Patriarchy theory essentially posits that men are the oppressor class and women are the oppressed, which is an absolutely egregious example of the apex fallacy. And so feminism and patriarchy theory teaches that men are the oppressors, women are the oppressed. So how is the oppressed, aka women, supposed to feel about the oppressor class, aka men? The oppressor class is not, the oppressed class is not supposed to feel anything positive towards those who are oppressing them. So it's this tragic rewriting of history that the relationship between men and women is one of oppressor and oppressed. It's just factually untrue, because it's not men as a class versus women as a class. It's people in power as a class and then everyone else. Does it happen to be the case that the majority of people that have had power in history were men? Yes, but it's not necessarily because they're men, and it's not. And the vast swaths of women and men who were oppressed, they weren't oppressed because they were men or women. They were just oppressed because they didn't have power. It's those with power and those without it. So previously you had tyrants, dictators, and kings, monarchs, queens, etc. They held power. So basically, feminism has just taught generations of women to have contempt, disdain, and hatred for men, and men aren't being quiet anymore about it. So, yeah. Anyways,
there's a dissonance in that, right? Because it also teaches women to be second-rate men in every way, and that's why it champions abortion and detests women's innate ability to create and nurture life, which is like really what gives them inherent value. Word. Oh, one thing we were talking about.
Wait, so you think that if a woman doesn't have kids, that she's not valuable or like is a good person?
I think your potentiality to be a mother makes you valuable as a woman.
I mean, I guess valuable because the world, like if no one had kids, that we would all die off, I guess. So I guess that makes sense. But I feel
we're
like
all here because somebody
that's true.
had a baby.
Somebody somebody, so that's how we're all here.
Okay. Let's just keep it moving. Your card.
Thank you. They're a homebody.
Homebody.
What does that mean?
Like they like to stay at home. They don't like to go out.
I don't mind. I like to stay at home sometimes too.
Oh shit. Me, I'm a homebody. What's up?
Oh my god.
How you doing, Rachel?
You're pushing 30.
What? Wait, what?
Just kidding.
He's not just pushing
Damn.
30.